Yeah, good evening, Adrian from Consult Nation News. So, I think you know that I work on the labor migration issue, and I think the amount of corruption involved makes 1MDB look like a walk in the park. It's massive, from the recruitment in the country of origin to the placement, to unpaid wages, to cheating, to deportations, to PAU, to even to sending back. So there's so many agencies which foul the workers, and the workers want to complain, but they're scared, especially undocumented. So the question on the whistleblower protection is so important for an undocumented migrant. My question is what is your grand plan to fix this mess in the migration system, and how can we collaborate? And my bonus question is, do you allow bugging on the phones in your receipt card?
Trade secrets cannot be shared. So I shall not say. But
That's the answer,
I shall not say trade secret, whether it's a yes or no. Okay, but when it comes to this issue, of course, this is not only my responsibility, but you have to deal with the policy change. And I think we've been repeating it a few times, and I hope there's finally the persons who are in charge will know. The issue of labor trafficking and exploitation, especially among migrant workers, stems from the policy that has been ongoing, and unfortunately it's still there, which is about maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Oh, I feel so old. About 20 years ago, when the Human Resource Ministry is the ministry that is in charge of recruitment of foreign workers. Just like any workers, they are in charge of the recruitment of foreign workers. In other words, if a company needs X number of people, they would actually go to the Human Resource Ministry and say, look, I need 100 workers. And the Human Resource Ministry will check and assess whether indeed you need 100 workers for this particular sector, whether it's construction or plantation and all that. It is a lucrative thing to get workers from overseas. But what has been happening is this: increasingly, the people who have been recruiting have to deal with the immigration, right, and the Home Ministry. So what they've done, very systematically, for a long time, they've decided to start demonizing foreigners and foreign workers. Once you start demonizing them, every little offense, every little crime, whatever you say, kita kalau orang biasa kena tangkap, kita cakap woman age 34 arrested. But kalau dia seorang Indonesian, they will say Indonesian. Kalau orang Malaysia, dia tak cakap Malaysian, dia akan cakap woman je. So this has been going on for a long time, demonizing. Secondly, ramai foreigners yang ditangkap adalah atas kes immigration. Tetapi kita tak sebut kesalahan apa. Kita kata tangkapan. Dan bila kita kata tangkapan dan masuk penjara, penjara penuh dengan foreigners. Memang betul. But are they there for administrative offence, maknanya kes-kes immigration, or are they there for conventional crime, for kecurian, membunuh dan sebagainya? So tak ada perbezaan. Jadi orang yang masuk dalam penjara dilihat sebagai pesalah. And kalau more than half of them are foreigners, kita dah anggap foreigners ni suka buat crime, right? So what happened is, after this increasing demonization, finally they decided that recruitment of foreign workers is a security issue. So we take that out from the Human Resource Ministry and put it under the Home Ministry. Di bawah Home Ministry, when they start recruiting, dia tak kisah ada kerja ke tak ada. Apa yang dia kira, satu kepala sampai 12,000. That is the reality. Dan setiap level, ejen kat sini, ejen kat Bangladesh, semua akan start recruiting. Because the more I recruit, the more money. So, apa yang dilakukan ialah budak-budak muda dekat Bangladesh contohnya, dan negara lain yang mereka ambil, akan dijanjikan kita pergi Malaysia cantik, boleh petik apple, dia ambil gambar dekat kamera. Betul. These are the kind of things that they trick these people and bawa dia orang. So budak-budak ni yang datang ni muda-muda, tak ada kerja dekat kampung dekat sana, mereka akan pinjam duit. Pinjam whatever daripada macam-macam orang dan bayar ejen sampailah ke Malaysia. Bila sampai ke Malaysia, ada setengah mungkin ada kerja, tapi a big chunk of them will find themselves at the depot, tak ada kerja. So bila tak ada kerja, apa nak buat? Nak balik pun susah. Ada hutang, ada orang boleh cari. So saya terpaksa, saya kena kerja. Comes the second wave of the vicious cycle. Ejen-ejen yang akan kata, you nak keluar tak? Kalau you keluar, you kerja untuk I. Tapi they will be undocumented. Visa tak ada, visa kerja tak ada. Yang datang tu datang secara legal, tapi visa kerja is the second layer. So bila tak ada kerja, they become vulnerable and easily exploited. You can see them when you go to the malls. You tengok orang yang cleaning, they are all subcontracted workers. Dekat plantation, dekat kelapa sawit, tempat Felda dan sebagainya, mereka akan dibawa ke situ untuk kerja, tapi mereka tak boleh fight. So bila mereka minta atau demand, apa akan jadi? Majikan dia, kontraktor dia akan call immigration untuk buat tangkapan. So it goes on and on and on. So what is our suggestion? Is stop this policy which allows the exploitation. Bawa balik recruitment of foreign workers under Human Resource Ministry. Every year in other countries, Australia dan sebagainya, yang mengambil orang luar untuk kerja, every year they akan put out there jenis kerja yang diperlukan oleh negara tersebut. Okay, tahun ni kita nak engineers, tahun ni kita nak nurses, tahun ni kita nak ni. So orang akan pergilah, sebab dia tahu dia dapat point extra kalau dia fit the bill. So kalau Malaysia kata tahun ni kita nak construction saja, ataupun restoran dan sebagainya, we can manage it. Tapi hanya human resource has the capacity to assess that, sebab human resource will know the industry, the sector yang perlukan pekerja asing. Tapi unfortunately, this policy has yet to be put in place. We are still looking at it in a lucrative manner. So this is actually an organised labour trafficking yang perlu kita handle. So it's not just about minimum wage. Minimum wage is not the magic word. It's about how you manage these workers. So stop the xenophobia and stop demonizing and start looking at where the problem is. So policy change has to be done. And we as SPRM, we have been actually telling the various departments why corruption is very high is because of this policy, and we hope that they will change. I can no longer just write and rant off in a Facebook or a Twitter. I'll have to bring that up as part of our pencegahan.
Is Tun serious about solving it?
You have to ask them.
Oh.
I cannot answer for them.
Okay, this is